Okay, we're going to look at problems 5 through 22 here on practice test 1. Let's look at problem 5. It says 3 into the 5th, the whole thing squared. So you got to remember that means 3 into the 5th times another 3 into the 5th. When I'm squaring everything in here. Now when I have that, I know I need to write it out. Nothing wrong with it. Into the 5th is n times a 3 n. Well, now you can see that's going to give you 9. 3 times 3 is 9. How many total n's do we have? Into the 10th. So there's problem 5. Problem 6 is simply into the 5th times into the 3rd. So that's n times n. How many do you see? Into the 8th. Let's look at problem 7. N squared to the 4th. To the 4th power means we're taking n squared and multiplying it by itself 4 times. Now that's nn times nn times nn times nn. So that's into the 8th power. The next one is just saying, hey, add a bunch of things. There's no multiplying. You do have 2 times n to the 3rd times y to the 2nd, but we're just putting together. Do you see any other n-thirds y to the 2nds? Here's an n-third y to the 2nd, and there's no more. So how many do you have? You have 2 of it plus 5 of it gives you, I'm just going to write the answer here, 7 into the 3rd y squareds. And look at this. This is 4 n-third y, 6 n-third y. So you have 4 of it plus 6 of it, which gives you a grand total of 10 of those n-third y's. That's as far as it goes. You can't add things that aren't exactly the same. So there's problem 8. All right, let's look at problem 9. 2y to the 4th times 3y to the 4th. So that's 2 y times 3 y. 2 times 3 gives us 6. Y. How many y's do you see? Y to the 8th power. Number 10, it's a binomial times another binomial. So this is where I talked about handshaking. X has to get distributed to that X or shake hands with it. And that X has to be distributed through to that 7. Well, X times X is X squared. X times that negative 7 is negative 7X. What about the 2? The 2 has to be distributed through also or shake hands with. So 2 times the x is 2x, and the 2 times that negative 7 is minus 14. Now putting things back together, we'll do it in a brown here. You have an x squared. You do notice that this and this can go together. Lose 7, gain 2. You've lost, I don't know what that was. That was supposed to be a 5. You've lost 5x. And then minus 14. You end up with a trinomial answer when you do a binomial times binomial in this situation. That's not always going to happen. All right, let's look at number 11. It says 2x plus 3, that whole quantity squared. That means we're doing a 2x plus 3. Board slowed down a little bit there. 2x plus 3. Come on, there we go. Times another 2x plus 3. Now we're going to have to, again, shake hands or distribute each piece through. So we're going to have to do 2x times that 2x and the 2x times that 3. Then we're going to have to come back and distribute this 3 through there and the 3 through there also. So let's start. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times the 3 is 6x. When I do the 3 distributed through, 3 times 2x gives me another 6x, and 3 times 3 gives me 9. Now I just need to clean up things. I have a 4x squared, 6x and 6x is 12x, and then we just have the number 9. Number 12, ooh, this is a little bit more. We have to distribute the 2x squared through to here and to here and to the 1. And then we're going to have to do 5x distributed through also. We have a binomial, 2 pieces, times a trinomial, which has three pieces or three terms. So let's start. 2x squared times the 5x squared. Well, 2 times 5 is 10. So I get 10. How many x's? X squared times an x squared is, you're going to have 4 of them. So that's 10x to the 4th. 2x squared times the 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. X squared times x is going to be x to the 3rd. And then 2x squared times the 1 is just minus 2x squared. Now let's do this 5x distributed through. 5 times 5 is 25. X times x gives me x to the 3rd. 5x times there, 5 and the 2, that's going to be negative 10 because you have a minus sign there. X times x is x squared. And finally, 5x times the minus 1 is minus 5x. Now let's put together what can be put together. 10x to the 4th, that's all you have. You do have lose 4x cubed, gain 25x cubed. So how much is that? That's a gain of 21x cubes. You then have this right here, negative 2x squared minus 10 more x squareds. That's going to lose 12x squareds. And then you simply have the number minus 5x left by itself. So there's problem 12. Let's look at 13. 13 says to do that whole thing squared plus 2n times all that. Okay, so we have 3n cubed y to the 5th times another 3n cubed y to the 5th. Then we have plus all this right here. Now, notice that doesn't really say anything other than 2n times the end of the 5th. Well, the end of the 5th is by itself, so you really don't even need those parentheses. So this is just like a 2n n 5th y 10th. Now, if we write this out, we have 3 n 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 n y, plus, and then here you have 2n n, and then I'm not going to write the y to the 10th out because there's no other y's. So now I just need to put all this together. So what is all that together? 3 times 3 is 9. N, how many n's you see? N to the 6. How many y's? Y to the 10th. Plus over here I have 2. How many n's? N to the 6, y to the 10th. Can we add those? Are they exactly the same? Yes, they're both n to the 6, y to the 10th. So how many do we end up with? 11 of them. So the final answer is 11 n to the 6, y to the 10th. All right. 14. A little bit easier problem here. We have 3x times 4x. 3 times 4 is 12. How many x's? I got 5, 7. That looks like how many? 12 also. So 12x to the 12th is our answer for number 14. Number 15. We're squaring that whole thing. So it's 2a squared b cubed times another 2a squared b cubed. So that's a 2aa b, 2aa b. 2 times 2 is 4. Aa is a to the 4th, and then b to the 6th. There's problem 15. 16. Sometimes this tricks when you see a negative 3, y'all think subtract 3. This does not say subtract 3. It's 2 times a times b times c times a negative 3 times a times b times c. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. A times a is a squared. B times b is b squared. And c times c is c squared. There we have that. And 17. You have AA times A. Makes it nice and simple. A to the 6th. Right, number 18. 3AB times 3AB. 3 times 3 is 9. A times A is A squared. B to the 3rd. 19. Has a whole lot of things here. We have negative 4, A, B, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times negative 2, A, B. Now, granted, you should start getting used to sort of visualizing this in your head to get the answer, but it didn't hurt to write it out. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. I got 4 A's, 4 more, so that makes 8 of them. B's, I got 10 of them, 3 of them, that's 13 of them. B to the 13th. Here's number 19. And here's 20. That whole thing to the third. So it's this whole thing to the third. So we have 2, A to the 4th, B to the 3rd, C squared, times another one, A4, B 3rd, C squared, times another one. Now, we can write it out, or let's just take a look at this one. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is what? 8. Now, if we visualize, I have AAA. How many A's do you see there? I see 12, because I would have 4 and 4 and 4. That's going to make 12. What about the B's? B. How many B's is that going to be? That's going to be 9 of them. And finally, CC is going to be 6 of them, so that's C to the 6th. All right, we're about there. Here's 21. It is A times B times B times B times 4 times A times A times B times B. Well, that just is a 4. How many A's do you see? 3. How many B's? 5. And then 22. 2 times x times 3 times x times 2 x squared times 3 times x. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 3, 36. How many x's? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X to the 5th power. There you have problems, 5 through 22.